What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to another Cocoro update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so as you guys can see, Cocoro is actually up just over 6% in the last day. Surprisingly enough, it's actually one of the few projects that is pumping today. You can see that it's currently sitting at a $2.13 million market cap. And if you come over here and you look at the crypto market, you'll notice that everything has fallen right back down. Full transparency, I am recording this the night of October 21st, and you guys will be seeing this the morning of October 22nd. So prices could change a little bit by the time you guys are seeing this. That being said, earlier today, price action had a very nice breakout. Bitcoin actually shot up to about 113,000. However, it's right back down to 108,300. And Ethereum was right back above 4,000, and now it's back to 3,800. And if you just look at it from a technical analysis standpoint, it's as if nothing has happened. You can see that Bitcoin on the daily time frame had a very nice spike all the way up here to the 50-day moving average. But you'll notice that this candle actually closed as a bearish engulfing candle. To be completely honest with you guys, that is not a great look. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin can't pump from here. Of course it can. Anything can happen. That's the reality of crypto. But simply from a technical analysis standpoint, that's not really what you want to see. Now, if we come over here and we look at Cocoro specifically, though, you'll notice that Cocoro is actually starting to find a bottom. And the reason I say that is because price action is starting to flatten out. If you guys actually look at the chart, you can clearly see that over the last few months, Cocoro has just been bleeding, and it is a clear downtrend. However, if you look at price action over the last few weeks, you can see that it's starting to flatten out. Oftentimes, this can signal a bottom. Now, again, is that guaranteed? No, it's not. And there's always a chance that Cocoro goes lower. I just want to be crystal clear about that. The reality of Cocoro is that it is in a very unique situation because of the Uniswap issue. There are not many projects out there that have been going through what Cocoro has been going through. But the one thing that I want to make sure you guys understand about Cocoro is that they have an extremely resilient community. If you look at their X account, they actually just hit 1,000 followers again. And fun fact, this is actually the third X account. They've had 2 X accounts suspended before this. In fact, they might have actually had 3 suspended. And don't forget, they've also had a Telegram that got hacked and deleted. So the fact that they're still persevering and pushing is very important to see. And you have to remember, from a Memecoin standpoint, Cocoro has one of the strongest narratives in the entire market. If you come over here and you look at the market and you click on the Memecoin tab, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So obviously, Dogecoin was the original massive meme coin. And Dogecoin's real name is Kabosu. And you can see that Dogecoin is currently sitting at a $29.5 billion market cap. And you guys already know Dogecoin is a massive project. Okay, then you could argue that Shiba is kind of in the same narrative just because it's the breed of dog. However, it's not necessarily directly in the narrative, but still, again, it's Shiba Inu. However, then you scroll down and you'll see Nero right here. And you can see that Nero has just been getting sold off a lot. It's currently at a $78.8 million market cap. That being said, Nero was the hottest project last year. This is the project that went parabolic and ran to a $1.3 billion market cap when it got a Binance listing. And Binance actually listed this project when it was around a $15 million market cap. And within a few months, it ran from 15 million to over 1.3 billion. And it was literally the hottest project last year. I cannot stress that enough. And what you have to understand is that once Kabosu or Dogecoin passed away, they adopted Nero. So Nero was the second dog. And we saw all kinds of different PvP with Nero projects. And this project is the one that ended up winning, but there was another Nero project that ran to around 380 million. Now, the reason Cocoro is important is because Cocoro is the third dog. Kabosu Mama, the owner of Nero, also owns Cocoro. Those are her only 2 dogs. So the projects in this narrative have ran over $1 billion market cap. That's why this whole time I've been talking about Nero and I've been hyping up the narrative. We see that this project is currently sitting at 2.1 million. That is very small when you take into consideration how much potential this narrative has. Now again, am I saying that this is guaranteed to explode? No, I am not. And there are a lot bigger issues at hand with the whole Uniswap situation. But if there's even a chance that Cocoro could take some of the market share of these other projects in that same narrative, then it could explode. That's just the reality of the meme coin market. Now the question is whether or not you guys believe that the Uniswap issue will get fixed. What I think is also important to understand is that HTX is still consistently posting Cocoro. I know a lot of people are still wondering if it's possible that Cocoro could eventually get listed. Well, HTX community just posted this 22 hours ago, and you can see that Cocoro is riding a rocket ship right here. So they are still consistently posting Cocoro. Now, does that mean they're going to list them? I have absolutely no idea. They have literally been shilling Cocoro for almost 7 months at this point. Truthfully, I think it's all going to come down to whether this Uniswap issue gets resolved. Now, quickly, I do also want to take a look at Ethereum. And I just want to make sure you guys understand that I personally am very bullish on Ethereum's weekly time frame. I think we are forming a textbook bull flag and we're retesting previous support. You can see that 2 different times we had a textbook bounce off the 21 weekly. And as of right now, we're still holding in this range that I've had drawn for months at this point. This has a chance to be a textbook support and resistance flip. Previous resistance would now become support. Not to mention, if you look at the stochastics, we are extremely oversold at this point. As you guys know, we had been overbought since May. And when we were extremely overbought, I was telling you that it is hard to get an explosive move with overbought stochastics. So ideally, we would need to see them reset, and they have at this point. So right now, we're retesting support with oversold stochastics. Personally, I think that is very bullish. And then if you guys have been watching my content recently, I've also been showing you gold. And I've been showing you how there is a decent chance that gold has topped from a macro standpoint. And I also would like to see how this weekly actually closes, but the weekly currently has tweezer tops. And it is close to potentially forming a bearish engulfing candle. And gold is almost a $30 trillion market cap. If we start to see profits get rotated, that could be very bullish for crypto. As you guys know, Bitcoin is only a $2.1 trillion market cap. Gold being almost 30 trillion is way bigger than Bitcoin. So don't be shocked if we also see profit rotation. Not to mention, we could also get rate cuts here pretty soon. Polymarket is suggesting like a 96% chance that we get rate cuts. But honestly, that's about it for the update today. As always, if you guys are interested in market updates, you guys are interested in Cocoro and just getting into projects super early, then I always recommend taking a look at my Discord. We're in the market 7 days a week, and if you look at the all-time gainer list, we have hit some huge multipliers this cycle. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to have you guys in here with us. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you guys still believe in Cocoro. If you found this content enjoyable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.